Hi guys, welcome to another Reddit reaction. It's been a minute and I have a new one for you guys. Multiple stories, each crazier than the other. So let's get into it. My boyfriend faked a proposal, so I broke up with him. Me, 24 female, have been dating my boyfriend Andrew, 26 male, for 5 years now. We've had a healthy and stable relationship, but up until today, Andrew has always been a prankster and made jokes with me all the time. And I do it to him too, but today he took it way too far. In the morning, he woke me up at 7 a.m. and told me to wake up because he wanted to take me to the spa. I was pretty surprised because it wasn't a special day or anything, but I was all in for it. At the spa, he told me how he wanted to go to a fancy restaurant after we were done at the spa and that he was paying. Of course, I agreed as we hadn't been out together in a long time. We then got to the restaurant. We had a beautiful and romantic dinner and just a nice time in general. We were talking about a house we were planning to move into and chit-chatted about other stuff too. After around 40 minutes, Andrew stood up and got on his knees and took out a box out of his pocket. My heart stopped beating. I hadn't even predicted this. We have never talked about proposal before, but I also thought it was a great time now. He did a speech about how I was the most beautiful girl in the world and how he wanted to live with me forever and ended with, "Will you marry me, my princess?" Of course, I said yes. Seconds later, all that excitement turned into horror. He opened the small box. I expected he put the ring in, and in it was a note saying, "You've been pranked." And Andrew started laughing hysterically. He continued with, "Baby, this was just a prank. I'm not ready at all to marry you yet." He was leaning in to hug me, but I gave him the biggest slap ever with tears streaming down my face. I just told him, "We're over, you effing scumbag." I am now sitting in my bed crying and writing this, and I don't know what to do. He's been texting and calling me, but I haven't responded because I feel so sad, betrayed, and mostly angry. I thought this was going to be one of the best days of my life. What should I do? Personally, I think you should break up with him. No, I think you should call him and tell him. No, I think you should tell him that, you're single now and your whole relationship was nothing but a prank. Because there's one thing to prank people or there's one thing to make a joke, but when it's at the expenses of others, that's so crappy. I really hate stuff like that. He literally went out of his way to plan a whole entire thing out where he knew people were going to be there. Like when people are proposing, people pull out their phones, especially now that we live in like this era of digital, everything has to be recorded. People are putting out their phone, recording. This video of her being rejected like this is probably somewhere in someone's video where it was posted on the internet. I feel like this is so embarrassing. Anybody who tries to publicly embarrass their partner is really, really crappy, and they need to get... She doesn't need to marry him. That's the problem. She does not need to marry him. She needs to let him go expeditiously. Am I wrong for encouraging my mom not to take care of my dad's affair child if she did not want to? My dad cheated on my mom for years. During his affair, he let me down many times too. He'd plan stuff with me, and if his affair partner was in town or available, he'd drop me without a word. So when the truth came out, I was pissed as hell with him. My younger sister was more forgiving and continued to have a relationship with him. The affair was revealed because she was pregnant. She lost that baby. They ended up getting married, and 2 years ago had a child together who I never met. A few months ago, they both died in a car crash that claimed 5 people's lives. A social worker contacted me and my sister to see if one of us would take her in. We were left until last because they wanted older bio relatives first, but none of them wanted her. My sister asked if we could raise her together. I said I was not getting involved and told the social worker I would not raise her. My sister, who's only 19, stepped up. There were some things that needed to happen first. She dropped out of her college classes. She was working during the day and going to college at night. And she needed to move into a 2-bedroom place instead of the 1-bedroom she was in. She also needed to get some background check done, but she passed. She has the child. Now she's having a hard time with childcare. She knew I wouldn't say yes, so she asked our mom, begged our mom. She told mom if she loves her, she'll help her and she'll start opening her heart up to her little sister who's part of her girls, even if she hates our dad still. My sister on a guilt trip to her. My mom says she needed to think. She called me to tell me she didn't want to do it, that she hates the thought of having that child in her home and caring for her, but she knows it will ruin her relationship with my sister if she doesn't. I told her she shouldn't do it, that she should not be a good fit for one, but she would also be miserable. While my sister may not hate her, she could end up resenting them both. She agreed with me and told my sister she would not watch her. My sister called and asked if I had anything to do with it. I played dumb and said I didn't know what she meant. She said she knew that that was a lie because mom was so close to doing the right thing, and suddenly she's firmly no. She called me a cunt, a B word, said I was heartless, and that one day she will tell our little sister everything and will make me face up to my rejection of her and my lack of care for her. I told her I owe the child nothing. I would not apologize for telling mom to do what she wants. My sister then said I was cold-hearted and cruel and I don't seem to care about her either. I told her I cannot pretend to give a F about the child dad created with his affair partner and that she would rather me stay away. She said it didn't mean I needed to push mom to refuse to help her either. That I was still an A for that. Am I wrong? I feel like if you don't want to take care of a child because you're harboring a resentment towards the child's parent, whether it be your own parent or somebody else's parent, it doesn't really matter, that you shouldn't be the caretaker for that child, because a lot of times when people are very resentful, they take all their anger out, and that child could be, traumatized because of that, whether you're abusing it physically or emotionally or even financially, mentally. But on the other hand, if this 19-year-old girl, 19 is so young, 19 is so young to take care of a small child all by yourself. If she's willing to financially step up and take care of her and sacrifice her youth and, everything that she got going on, if she wanted to sacrifice that and take care of her little sister, because at the end of the day, the dad cheated, but this is their biological sister. And this is a baby. Like, if she needed to take care of her, the least they can do is just, either help financially or she could butt out so the mom can help. But at the end of the day, I feel so bad, like, whenever you hear stories about this, where, like, an innocent child is between grown adult beef and resentment. Is so sad. And a lot of people were like, oh, then why didn't they just give it to adoption center? The thing is, like, with adoption and even the foster system, is you don't know where these kids are going to end up. And a lot of those kids that end up in those type of homes, they end up very traumatized because a lot goes on. At the end of the day, that people that are adopting and the people that are doing foster care, those are random people. You don't know what they're up to. And statistically, that's really bad for children. But even this 19-year-old girl, she's so brave and she wants to, sacrifice. Like, she's going to a great deal. The least OP can do is either butt out, financially help, or just mind her own business because she's doing way too much. And I feel like you could be upset. Like, everybody has a right.